Thank you very much. And good afternoon, everyone. We're talking about tomorrow, so it's going to be UN Day, the 21st of October. Yes, and we will start today with meetings that the President of the General Assembly just had in Geneva. President María Fernanda Espinosa met today with the Director General of the International Organization for Migration, IOM, Mr. Antônio Manuel de Carvalho Ferreira Vitorino. Mrs. Espinosa stressed that the upcoming conference on international migration to be held in Marrakesh in December will be a privileged opportunity for countries to come together and agree on a collective framework to address the issue of people on the move. You will recall that support to migration and refugees constitutes one of the 7 priorities of the 73rd session of the General Assembly under President Espinosa. Mrs. Espinosa noted that migration is an issue that concerns and affects all of us and every country around the world. She stated that people who move from one place to another need to have their rights guaranteed. The PGA is looking forward to a strong conference in Marrakesh and mentioned a UN network which is being put in place to support countries to deliver on the Global Compact for migration, but also on the Global Compact on refugees. Mrs. Espinosa looks forward to ensuring a strong global agreement from world leaders in December. And today she granted a press conference at Palais des Nations. She spoke to journalists who cover the work of the United Nations in Geneva. In this press conference, her first at Palais des Nations, she talked about her 7 priorities: multilateralism, the reform of the United Nations, and the overall theme of her presidency, which is excellent. Mrs. Espinosa is in Geneva to take part in the UNCTAD 2018 World Investment Forum. She's meeting with the heads of UN agencies, including the International Labour Organization, the UN Refugee Agency. She met today with former President Bachelet, IOM, and others. On Monday, she spoke at the opening of the event Global Leaders Investment Summit, stressing the importance of cooperation with the private sector to implement the Sustainable Development Goals. And during the conference, she made a comment on multilateralism, and I quote, "Even if we are told that multilateralism and national interests do not match, it is possible to safeguard sovereignty and multilateralism at the same time." And if you wish to follow this press conference and other videos and information, you can go to our website, our Twitter account, the UN_PGA, and also our YouTube channel. I think I informed today about her meetings, but also she met the Director General of the UN office in Geneva, Mr. Michael Muller, and tomorrow, UN Day, the PGA will take part in a concert in Geneva to mark the anniversary of the United Nations. That's all from me. Do you have any questions? Okay, I go here and afterwards there. Okay, James.
Given that she is making the UN more relevant, obviously the top news story in the world for nearly 3 weeks has been the Khashoggi case. In her role as leader and facilitator, has she had discussions in the General Assembly among other member states about calling for a UN investigation? As Farhan has made it clear, there are several routes to a UN investigation. One would be for the GA to call for it. What discussions has she had about this case and about a possible investigation?
She is following this issue. She herself called for a thorough and urgent investigation. I mean, minutes after we had the news, this tragic news on Friday, she issued a tweet on this. You will remember, she said she heard about the death of Jamal Khashoggi, and while details still emerged, she was thinking close of the terrible loss that this represented for his family, the people close to him, and called for a thorough investigation into this heinous crime and for all who played a role to be held accountable. And this is the answer for you on this.
But is she taking soundings within the membership of the GA about the possibility of a UN investigation? Because the GA could ask for the SG to set that up.
The fact of the possibility of the investigation, I think it has been discussed here before by my colleague Farhan Haq, and I think we all understand the process. So this is now a matter that is in the hands of a request that we will receive as the organization. And in her capacity as president of the General Assembly, she has said before, she supports an urgent and thorough investigation to find out what happened to
With
Mr.
respect,
Khashoggi.
the request could come from the body she heads, the General Assembly. Is she taking soundings of the wider membership of the General Assembly about whether there is a feeling within the membership to make that request?
Mrs. Espinosa has been following this case, and you remember, James, since the 2nd of October. So the conversations that she is having about this are kept with her and the counterparts, and I'm not going to go into details, but I can guarantee you that this is on her mind, and she is very much concerned about this matter. Thank you for your question. Sorry, I will have to ask your name and your outlet. I'm so sorry
Yeah,
about that.
it's,
I am the new person here. You are known.
My name is George Schwarte, German Public Radio, ARD.
good.
And
Willkommen.
sorry, thanks, sorry, it would have been the same question. Is there any support by the President of the General Assembly? Because she wants to make the UN more relevant. Here is the opportunity to make the General Assembly more relevant, asking for an independent UN investigation. And she's heading the body which is able to do that.
You are aware that decisions by the General Assembly are made by member states. I mean, we all know this. And what I have to say about this, I answered James' question, and not only James's question. We have been talking about this issue here, and I have nothing to add on this apart from what I said to him before. Okay, anyone else? No? So we're going to have a briefing, yeah, after that. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and I see you tomorrow. Thanks.